A few days ago, I went to get an MRI on my busted left knee, and while I was waiting, there was like a little girl there with her mom, and she must have thought that I couldn't hear her, but she said to her mom, "That guy there looks like my friend's dad." Now, the reason why I mention this is because it feels like time goes so fast. In a blink of an eye, I went from people thinking that I was like an international student in Boston to I am now someone's friend's dad. Time goes way too fast. We are already halfway into 2024, but with all that nonsense aside, it is the start of the new month, so I'm gonna go through some of the shoes that I really want for the month of June. Now, disclaimer, sneaker release dates changes all the time. Things get pushed back. Things that I won't have on this list that's not announced yet will release in June, so this list is ever changing. It's just what I know so far. And another disclaimer, it is very Nike and Jordan heavy, but a lot of the sneaker release dates that are published that are known are very skewed towards Jordan and Nike. They do have a huge majority of the market share. And I did grow up as a Nike and Jordan kid. I looked at like New Balance, Adidas, Puma. There was just no shoes that I really wanted from those brands. Probably will be coming up that haven't been announced yet. Like the Puma PlayStations that dropped last month. That was out of nowhere, at least out of nowhere for me. I didn't see anything about it. And then like a few days before it or a week before it, they announced they were gonna drop it and I got it. Still have them, and I reviewed it. So again, release dates very fluid, very flexible in the sneaker industry. Blame them, not me. And by the way, June is looking rough. There's just not a lot of shoes that I want this month. I couldn't even make 10 for this list. I didn't want to force it. Here's to hoping for a better July. So here we go. And as I say this, I just found out the Jordan 4 Oxidized Green got pushed from July to June, and I found that out after I recorded this. So just a quick note, the Jordan 4 Oxidized Green would have definitely made my list if I had knew that before I recorded the video. First, it is the Jordan 3 Quai 54 that is dropping on June 3rd for $210 in Europe, and then June 10th for the rest of the world. Now, Quai 54 is a streetball tournament that happens in Paris, France every single year. There's been a ton of Quai 54 Jordan brand colorways. In 2018 specifically, they also came out with a Jordan 3 Quai 54 that went for a pretty different look with an all black upper with like a gradient midsole. This shoe is much more simpler, just a white leather upper with hints of orange, and they've replaced the elephant print that is very distinct on the Jordan 3 with just a plain suede look. And what I really like about the overlays is that you can see the orange lining on the mudguard. I think that's a subtle little detail that looks really cool. And then there's mismatched branding on the tongue, so that Quai 54 logo on the left shoe. And then on the booty of the shoe, there's a transparent Jumpman logo, and then also a Quai 54 logo. And because I can't help myself, I have to mention it every single time. There is a sail midsole. For, in my opinion, for no reason, they just stuck it on there. I don't know why this shoe specifically needed a sail midsole. I've told myself not to like go on about sail midsoles on shoes that don't really need it, but like Jordan Brand, I can't help myself. Like I said, there's been a ton of Quai 54 Jordan Brand shoes. I think some other ones in the past are better, like the Jordan 5 Quai 54. As a Jordan 5 lover, I really like that shoe. I think this one is much more tame, much more generic, I guess, but still a pretty nice colorway, and it looks pretty cool. Next up, it is the Jordan 13 Dune Red that is dropping on June 25th for $200. Now, this is essentially a poor man's version of the Ben 23 Jordan 13, but essentially that collection featured premium materials, high-end shoe trees, and dust bags. This one gives it a very similar look, but it is just a general release, and I think that Dune Red, that shade of red is really nice. Kind of a little bit reminds me of like the terracotta Jordan 13s and 14s, just that shade along the same veins. And I can't say I'm like the biggest Jordan 13 lover, but I am a fan. I think when it comes in pretty nice colorways, I usually go for them. And it also doesn't hurt that the Jordan 13 is one of the more comfortable Jordan brand shoes. So this shoe is pretty general for a Jordan 13, just a white leather upper with that Dune Red overlay that is meant to resemble the whiskers of a panther. And White Panther, if you didn't know, one of Michael Jordan's nicknames was Black Cat. And then one of the coolest features of all shoes, the little hologram on the heel that is meant to resemble a panther's eyes. And then one of the coolest outsoles, herringbone traction, but that shape that is meant to resemble a panther's paw. And one of my favorite things to put on sneakers, carbon fiber plate. So overall, not like the most special shoe, people aren't going to be fighting over it, but in my opinion, it's worth picking up. Next, it is the Jordan 6 Reverse Oreo that is dropping on June 8th for $200. Now, I did already review this shoe, so if you want to know my detailed thoughts and an in-depth review, go check out that video. And the Oreo colorway is personally one of my favorites. I really like the Oreo 4s, definitely the 5s, the 6s as well. I think actually are much better than this one. But with all that said, I think this is a pretty clean shoe. A black and white shoe can't get more wearable and easier to wear than this. And the Jordan 6s, for whatever reason, they've really kind of been growing on me lately. I've been wearing my Georgetowns quite a bit, and the more I look at them, the more I like it. And this shoe, very simple, features an all-white leather upper with that very unique Jordan 6 tongue. And the Jordan 6 was inspired by a sports car, so you see that big pull tab that is inspired by a spoiler of a car. That's probably my least feature of the Jordan 6s, but it does make up for it with a very crisp and clean icy outsole. Just one of the best outsoles in the game. It looks very nice. So black and white shoe, I know it's very basic. Some people might find it boring, but super easy to wear. Jordan 6s, my opinion, one of the better Jordans. So I definitely couldn't leave this off my list. And at number 5, it is the Jordan 1 High 85 Metallic Burgundy. That's dropping on June 22nd for $200. Now this shoe was supposed to drop all the way back in February, but it got pushed way back. And this comes in an 85 cut, which we don't see quite often. So the 85 cut, if you didn't know, it's slightly slimmer than like the general release Jordan 1 High OGs. And it also has a slightly different toe shape with a slightly different sole pattern. And early this year, we did see the Jordan 1 Low 85 Metallic Navy. I think that was a super clean shoe. I actually really like burgundy in general. It's one of my favorite colors, especially on sneakers. Just kind of elevates the sneaker for whatever reason. Kind of looks classier, a little bit more upscale. I don't like the $200 price point compared to like $180 for a normal Jordan 1. But 85 cuts don't come around very often. It's a very clean, easy to wear shoe. And it's just hard to pass up. About as simple as you can get, but a lot of times with Jordan 1s, simplicity is the key. Next up, it is the KD17 Metro Boomin that is dropping on June 14th for $160. Now this is one of 3 pairs of the KD17 that's part of their producer pack. I already just recently reviewed the KD17 Penny colorway. Not too much difference between the 17s and the 16s in terms of performance. It's still a very decent shoe. If you want to know how I think about the performance and overall fit, as well as the details of the KD17, go watch that review. But this colorway, out of the 3 in the producer pack, it's probably my favorite. I just think it looks more unique with a lightning bolt upper. It also has the Hearts on Fire graphic on the right booty of the shoe, as well as Leslie's signature on the left heel. Leslie, if you didn't know, it's Metro Boomin's mother, who unfortunately got shot by her husband at the time, so a little dedication to her. And on the tongue, you'll also see the Not All Heroes Wear Capes album graphic on there as well. And the KD17s comes with a Cushlon midsole with an Air Strobel unit on the heel and then a Zoom Air unit on the forefoot. Overall, very decent cushioning, superb traction. And again, if you want to know my detailed performance thoughts of the KD17, go watch my review. But this shoe, this colorway in particular, very unique, very different. I'm not like absolutely in love with the KD17 shoe overall, like just in terms of the shape. But yeah, this colorway is just so different. Next up, at number 3, it is the Sabrina 2 Cave Purple or Tunnel Vision that is dropping on June 28th for $130. Now this is the second signature shoe for WNBA player Sabrina Ionescu, and the Sabrina 1 was really one of the best basketball shoes in recent memory. Very popular shoe, kind of looks like a Kobe Bryant shoe. They actually had a very good friendship, and this follow-up looks to be great as well. According to Nike.com, it's actually 28 grams lighter than the Sabrina 1s. It is the first basketball shoe in Nike basketball history to feature Cushlon 3.0 midsole, and that is contained within a Cushlon foam carrier with a Zoom Air unit in the forefoot. The herringbone traction has also been updated a little bit. And then you see on the medial side of the shoe, that pattern is supposed to resemble shattered glass from the ceilings that Sabrina continues to break. And again, according to Nike.com, it features a band system that wraps around the midfoot to provide a glove-like fit. And then the eye on the booty, obviously her second initial, and it's also meant to be an exclamation mark. I'm definitely looking forward to picking up this shoe, reviewing the shoe, playing in them. I think there are some other better colorways that are going to follow up this colorway, like the, I can't remember the name of it, but the gray kind of wide, that very subtle one. I think that's a very nice colorway. I'm not in love with this black and purple colorway, but overall I think the Sabrina 2 shape, it is great. Really, really great. And side note, last year when I took a trip to New York, I went to the Nike store over there, and the first floor was completely dedicated to the Sabrina 1. It was crazy. She is definitely doing very well. Her shoes are doing very well. I think the apparel's doing very well. And I think the Sabrina 2 is going to do really well as well. I've said the word well too many times. Number 2, it is the Jordan 3 Nina Chanel Bi-Coastal that is dropping on June 20th for $225. Now, if you didn't know, Nina Chanel is an artist based in New York. She did have her first Jordan collaboration on the Jordan 2s. I wasn't like a huge fan of that shoe, but this follow-up, this looks great. This looks really great. I know some people do think it's super ugly, but as someone that likes green, that likes kind of olive, I know this isn't exactly olive, but I just think this colorway is executed very nicely. So this shoe features a green upper with a mix of suede and canvas, And it looks to come in these rope-like laces, and on the booty of the shoe, very unique Nike Air branding that almost kind of looks like grass, with a little Jumpman tag on the side, and then hints of orange on the outsole, and of course, a sail midsole with sail laces. And I think this is one of those shoes on a Jordan 3 where the sail doesn't look too irritating. Like, it's not like a white upper with a random sail midsole. It's just green and sail, and overall, I just think this looks really nice. Overall, in a weak month like June, this seems to be one of the highlights. And at number 1, it is easy for me. It is the Kobe 4 Pro Tro Girl Dad that is dropping on June 7th for $190, just in time for Father's Day. And the shoe is actually inspired by a photo of Gigi Bryant and Kobe Bryant. Obviously, both of them unfortunately passed away in a helicopter accident in 2020. And this shoe was actually supposed to drop on May 31st. So it's actually in the May video that I did of the sneakers that I wanted that month, but it got pushed back. It is in June, so I'm kind of cheating a little bit because I've already talked about this shoe in the previous month. But again, I'll reiterate, just such a nice looking shoe. I love the colorway of this shoe. Features a green upper, looks to be either suede or nubuck, with black laces and a black swoosh. You'll see the words Girl Dad stitched inside the tongue, with a chrome heel counter with Kobe Bryant's signature, and then 24 like imprinted into the heel of the shoe. And of course, my favorite, icy outsoles. Just a combination of the colors on a Kobe 4, and the Kobe 4s I think are one of the better looking Kobes. One of my favorite pickups that I actually didn't review this year was the Kobe 4 Philly. That is a beautiful looking shoe, and I think this is right up there, easily my number 1 of June. So that's it. Thanks for watching Sole Inclined. Let me know what shoes on this list you really want, what shoes you think are trash. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes